Human beings carry out many activities to meet their needs for a better and comfortable life. These activities have an impact on our environment and the earth. More often than not, the impact is destroying our environment. Hello boys and girls, I'm Elaine. Thank you for watching iTTV. How are you feeling today? Good? How did you go to school today? Did your mother fetch you to school, or did you take the bus to school when the school is just very nearby your house? Well, next time, don't do that, children. Why? Because taking the car or bus is actually hurting our environment. The gas given out by the cars emits gases which is bad for our environment. Let's take a look at why. Welcome back. Let's first talk about how human activities destroy our environment. Deforestation. What is deforestation? Deforestation is the cutting down or chopping down of trees and making these trees declining at a rapid rate. Now, we'll first talk about this. This is a graphic which actually shows us how soil erosion happens. What is soil erosion, children? Soil erosion is the thinning layer of the surface soil layer. What causes it? Look, this is the soil with trees planted on it. The trees are important for the binding of the soil particles. Look, who binds the soil particles? It is the tree roots, right? So when deforestation happens, people cut down or chop down the trees, then there will be no more trees. When there are no more trees, there won't be any roots that attach or anchor the soil. What happens? This exposes the soil to the effects of strong wind and water. When there are no roots to hold on to the soil will be washed away by the rainfall or heavy downpour and strong wind. Then, what do you see next? We can see that there will be like hole or pit holes around the soil. You frequently see a lot of holes in the soil, right? Yes, this is why. Because of soil erosion. Soil erosion is happening at most of the time. Now, we are going to talk about the next one. Let's see what we have next. What do we have here? We are going to show you that this is a poster of how landslide happens. Can you tell me the difference between this picture and this picture? Yes, it is obvious, right? There are trees here and there aren't any trees here. So having trees here actually enables the roots of the trees to bind to the soil particles and protects the land from the effect of strong wind and water. When humans chop down these trees during excessive logging or deforestation, then there will be no trees left. When there are no trees left, there won't be any roots to anchor the soil. Then, this soil will be exposed to the harsh effect of the wind and rainfall, just like soil erosion. What happens? When heavy rain falls on exposed hillsides for a long period of time, the top layer of soil crumbles. Look, the top layer of soil crumbles, causing part of the hill to collapse in a landslide. When this soil crumbles, then what happens? Well, if there is a river nearby, look, the soil crumbling down and there's a river, right? So this crumbling soil and rocks also will accumulate in the river. Then, the level or the depth of the river will be shallow now. During a heavy downpour or heavy rain, this heavy rain will rise up. And what happens? flash flood when the rains overflows on the river. Okay, easy, right? This is also, we're going to talk about how flash flood happens. Okay, we can always see by the roadsides in the monsoon drain and drains that they are clogged. In the drains, they are clogged with rubbish, drink packets, polystyrene box, tires, and many more kinds of rubbish, right? So this is not good, children. Do not throw rubbish into all these drains. It is not meant for throwing rubbish. What is this drains meant for? It is for water drainage system. During a heavy rain, the water will accumulate in the drain and it has to flow away smoothly. Well, if you have a big bunch of rubbish here because of us throwing it in there, then the level of the drain will be shallow, and when the rain falls, the water will rise and overflow and cause flash flood. What next? What is this, children? Yes, I'm trying to show you a graphic of how pollution happens. But first, what is pollution, boys and girls? Do you know? Pollution happens when there are harmful or toxic substances that is released into our environment. When this is a ship, an oil ship which spills oil into the ocean. And what is this? These are our houses, and we give off domestic waste such as detergent water and wastewater from your toilet. Okay, this is factory. Factory also gives out chemical and toxic waste. This is a farmer trying to spray pesticide on its farm, right? And this is a cow. Can you see this tiny little thing? Yes, they excrete waste just like humans do. Well, during a heavy rainfall again, the pesticides used by these agriculturists and these waste excreted by the animals will actually seep underground and go into the river and to the river. The pesticides and the waste of the animals will actually seep underground and release into the underground water from the river and flows to the ocean. Okay, this is one way of water pollution. This ship, when they spill oil into the ocean, the oil will cover nearly the whole surface of the ocean. And this oil, what does it do? It prevents oxygen or air from going into the surface of the ocean. Then, the fish, incapable of getting oxygen, they will die off. Not only the fish will die off. What about the birds which feeds on the fish? When they're trying to get the fish, they will also pick up oil. They will swallow oil into their body. When they eat this dirty oil, they will also die. The domestic waste from our homes and from the factories also contribute to water pollution. So much about water pollution, boys and girls. Now we'll move on to air pollution. Air pollution happens when there are harmful or waste substances which is released into the air. Let's take a look. This is a man. What's he doing? He is smoking. And this farmer is using pesticides. And this is factories releasing toxic gases into the environment. What is this? Open burning. People, they do open burning nearly everywhere, burning their rubbish. They should not do that. And forest fires. All these gases emitted by all these activities will release harmful and toxic gases to the environment. Well, this is not good. When we inhale these toxic or harmful gases, it will actually cause respiratory disease like lung cancer. Okay, boys and girls, so much we've talked about pollution. Let's take a look at a summary of what activities actually destroys our environment. The environmental destruction caused by human activities are such as 1. Erosion, 2. Landslide, 3. Flash flood, 4. Water pollution, 5. Air pollution, and many more. Human activities that can lead to the destruction of the environment and flora and fauna includes illegal and excessive logging, illegal and excessive hunting, and improper management of development. Okay, we are going to talk about another really interesting topic, boys and girls. It is how global warming happens. Let's take a look. Can you tell me what is the difference between this graphic and this graphic? It is obvious, ain't it? Yeah, there's trees here and there are no trees here, right? Why do people cut down the trees here? Okay, the rising population or the rising number of humans on Earth causes us to require more land for agriculture. Why? We need to plant more paddies, vegetables, and also we have to have land to rear animals for us to eat, right? So that's why people chop down the trees and also for development. If we have trees, the trees will actually absorb the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide are released from cars, especially cars exhaust, right? And what about other examples that you can tell me? When these trees are gone, then there is nothing to absorb the carbon dioxide. So, the carbon dioxide accumulates. There are a lot of carbon dioxide in the air. Then, the sun's ray, which usually penetrate the ozone layer, will not reflect back into space. The carbon dioxide traps heat on Earth, and this also causes the disability of the sun's ray to reflect off to the space. Can you feel that on our Earth, the temperature is getting higher and higher and we are feeling warmer and warmer? Yes, this is because of the greenhouse effects, the trapping of the heat on Earth's atmosphere. When the Earth's temperature rises, can you think of what happens to the icebergs in the North Pole and South Pole? They will melt. When these ice melts, who loses their habitat? The polar bears, right? The cute polar bears will lose their habitat. They will have no place to live and they will eventually become endangered species and probably extinction. Well, the melting of these icebergs will cause our seawater level to rise. When this seawater level rises to a higher level, what happens? Flash floods. Floods are frequent occurrence of floods in some countries, whereas in other countries, there will be a very warm temperature such as India, and drought conditions will happen. During these drought conditions, we cannot plant vegetables, we can't plant paddy, and there will be a short of food supply. And when there are short of food supply, can you think of what happens to humans? Well, I'm sure you will know. Now, let's see what illegal and excessive logging does to our environment. It kills living plants. When the living plants are killed, for example, we'll have the reducing number of bamboo shoots. Pandas, they only consume bamboo shoots. They do not eat other food. When they do not have other alternative food sources, they will die of starvation. Illegal and excessive logging also destroys animal habitat and contribute to the increase in Earth's temperature, or better known as global warming. Children, if you have noticed, we have learned about this in the past episodes. Global warming has contributed to the extinction of the golden toad. Illegal and excessive hunting. Illegal and excessive hunting will kill animals. Why do people hunt illegally? People hunt illegally for the elephant's tusks, their skin, and the fur. Illegal and excessive hunting will also cause the depletion of natural resources. We will have a shortage of food supply, and also we will lose a potential source of traditional medicine, right? Illegal and excessive hunting also interrupts our food chain. Let's take a look at how it interrupts our food chain. Well, this is a diagram of the food web in the forest. Do you understand this food web? Okay, this is the plants, they are the producer, right? Who eats the plant? The plant is eaten by the deer. The plant is also eaten by the cricket. If the poachers, the illegal hunts the deers, and these deers dies off, what do you think will happen? This lion, which previously feeds on the deer, will not have food to eat, right? So that is why when these lions do not have alternative food sources, they will die of starvation. This is one of the reasons why lions will become endangered and eventually extinct one day. Let's see. The rabbit. The rabbit eats the plants. Who eats the rabbit? The rabbit is eaten by the eagle, and the rabbit is also eaten by the snake. If excessive hunting or excessive logging destroy the habitat of the rabbit, one day they will also decrease in number. Then the eagle and the snake and the lion will lose their food. That is why I say illegal and excessive hunting will interrupt the food chain, right? Now, we'll see what improper management of development actually causes to our environment. Improper management of development will cause erosion and landslide. Now, let's take a look at how improper management of development causes the occurrence of landslide. Here, this is a condominium built by the hillside. This hillside, this barren land, when it is exposed to strong wind and rainwater, this is rain, then this part will actually tumble down. When this part tumbles down, what happens to this thing? This condominium will also fall. I've just explained to you how improper management of development, such as building the condominium on the hilltop, will cause the occurrence of landslide. Now, let's take a look at another example. Improper management of development also causes flash flood. Children, there are actually steps or ways to reduce the effects of environmental destruction. How? We'll see. Steps to reduce effects of environmental destruction. We can enforce law to stop illegal and excessive logging, such as imposing fines or prison people who come against the law. We can also plant new trees after logging, term reforestation, and practice proper management of development. There are few ways in which we can practice proper management and development. One of the easy ways, we can actually fix filters on the chimneys of industries, right? To filter off the waste, the harmful waste products emitted by industries. We can also reduce, reuse, and recycle, and we can carpool to reduce the amount of gases released into the environment. What happens to Earth if human activities are not controlled? The Earth will not be conducive for living anymore. The survival of human species is threatened by the ill effects of habitat loss, loss of raw material and food supply, climate change, rise in Earth temperature, extinction of endangered species. So much we have learned today, children. Now, we'll go to the exercise section to see if you can answer the questions. Question number 1. What are the effects on the environment if the activity in the diagram is carried out excessively? Children, this is a diagram which shows deforestation. So, what effects does it impose on the environment? 1. Soil erosion. 2. Landslides. 3. Flash floods. And 4. Destruction of habitats. The answer is D. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Deforestation will cause soil erosion, landslide, destruction of habitats, and flash floods. Let's see. Question number 2. Which of the following is not true about the effects of illegal logging? A. The destruction of habitats. B. The destruction of food sources. C. The increase in Earth's temperature. Or D. The decrease in Earth's temperature. The answer is D. The decrease in Earth's temperature. Well, illegal logging of course contributes to the increase in Earth's temperature. That is why we are feeling warmer and warmer nowadays. So how can it be decrease in Earth's temperature? So obviously that answer was wrong. Number 3. What are the ways to prevent pollution? 1. Treating waste before disposal. 2. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. 3. Increase the use of cars. And 4. Dispose rubbish into the drain. The answer is A. 1 and 2 only. Obviously, increasing the use of cars and disposing rubbish into the drains will not help us to prevent pollution, right, children? So much we have learned today, and we are going to move on to the vocabulary section to increase your understanding of some difficult words. Vocabulary of the day. Destruction, kemusnahan. Erosion, hakisan. Flash flood, banjir kilat. Illegal hunting, pemburuan haram. Illegal logging, pembalakan haram. Landslide, tanah runtuh. And pollution is pencemaran. Do you understand the words? Do you remember them? Well, I hope you do. Now, we are going to move on to the trivia section. Which country emits the most greenhouse gases? A. China. B. India. C. United States. Or D. Malaysia. And the answer is A. China. United States was surpassed by China as the highest global greenhouse gas emitters in year 2006 to 2007, whose roaring industrial sector has rapidly increased the country's carbon emissions. How was the class today, children? I hope you had fun. Now we have come to the end of the class. Let's do a quick recap. There are so many human activities that we are doing that actually and pose an impact to our environment. It is destroying the environment, children. So try reducing, reusing and recycle and decrease the usage of vehicles, try carpooling and many more, and as simple as switching off the lights and air conditioners when not in use. Well, thank you for watching iTTV and I hope to see you soon in our next lesson. Bye bye!